Please hold the applause. So, how many of you are sitting here dreaming of a full, successful career in the pro game? I know I used to, until a road traffic accident nearly 4 years ago tried to take it all away. I'll go into that a bit later in a bit more detail for you. Nothing matters in life or football without perseverance and determination. Dreams happen when you work hard and fight harder for every opportunity and every chance to be the best. I learned this the hard way, and you're about to learn why today. The most important thing about my speech today is to remember to never give up. So, ever since I was little, I played football. I remember playing first for a team set up by my dad called Celtic Reds, and we called ourselves this because at the time we were all massive Celtic and United fans. But I still remember being called up first to take penalties and crying when I inevitably missed. So, when I was younger, I played at right midfield. I've never been too quick, but I always had the moves, including the Fogarty shuffle that I learned from my dad. I was scouted for West Brom's under 10s by Dan Ashworth, the FA technical director, who was head of youth development at the Baggies, where they decided to play me as a striker. But it wasn't until I moved to Birmingham City at under 12 that I first moved to right back, and that's when people began to notice I had talent. They thought me technically gifted enough to offer me a 4-year contract on my 12th birthday. So, yeah, guess who? Obviously I'm there kneeling next to a current Premier League winger. Does anyone know who it is? Nah.
Someone said.
Yeah. So I had known for a long time that I wanted to be a footballer, and now that I had a chance with Birmingham, nothing was going to stop me. So during my under 15 year, I bored my dad out the room to leaving, so that's always a good start. So during my under 15 year, Northern Ireland under 16s invited me over 3 or 4 times to train with them with the intention of breaking through into their Victory Shield squad. Yeah, I was the smallest, but I had talent. So, in January 2012, I was released by Birmingham City, but I was determined to prove them wrong. And Dan McKeechie, who was the head of youth at MK Dons, and now the head of England under 16s, took a chance on me, and I had been going there on trial as well as preparing for my GCSEs. And this brings me up to 17th of March 2012, better known as St. Patrick's Day. How can I ever forget that day now? So I set out to meet my mate in Solihull, and I caught the same bus I always did. But unbeknownst to me, the bus had changed its route, and I found myself in an unfamiliar territory. So, after asking the bus driver where he was going, he informed me that I needed to get off, change, and catch another one back into Solihull. Apparently, I'd got off the bus at the front, crossed over the road, and got hit by a car, taking the majority of the hit with my head. You know how in training sessions you're always told by your coaches to use your head? I agree. But they really should tell you not against a speeding car. I was taken to Birmingham Children's Hospital, where I spent the next 4 months and can't remember a thing. The doctors placed me into an induced coma. Then, for no apparent reason, they decided to drill a block into my head, apparently to release pressure from my brain. However, I actually know it was for their own amusement. But I guess they kept me alive, which is probably a good thing, until I was ready to go into a neuro ward. It was here that doctors decided, after drilling holes in my head, that a vital part of my recovery was to be flung round on the ward on a rail with everything flopping about. And I mean everything. I'm very relieved to say I can't remember any of that. Also, I know that my mates from my year came to visit on a daily basis, and so did all the girls, crying and kissing me. Gutted I can't remember that. But joking aside, I know that I had a diffuse axonal injury and that the prognosis wasn't good. But that's what makes my story a remarkable one. For the 4 months, I wasn't doing a lot, but my parents, knowing what I am like as a character, had decided to do everything. My mum and dad had been sat down and told, "You may not know your son again." This was red rag to a bull, and they didn't believe it for 1 second. I know that twice a week they had a lady into the bedside to do Reiki, which is a very special form of alternative medicine, e.g. total claptrap. They also had a mind coach to come and sit at the side of my bed and put subliminal messages into my brain regarding recovery, e.g. more bullshit. I know that I liked him because I used to continually kick him in the throat to try and remove him as far from my bed as possible. Apparently, I then slowly started to do 1 or 2 things. The next stage of my recovery after the children's hospital was to go to Tadworth in Surrey for 6 months. This is an early photo of me, not long after I arrived in Surrey. As you can see, my new set of wheels wasn't exactly the Ferrari I had planned on getting, but it was a but it was a journey there when I felt that I started to wake up. I was trying to talk to Mum, but nothing would come out. I actually thought I was on my way to hospital for the first time following some sort of accident. At Tadworth, I was shocked and frightened by the sight and injuries that I saw, but I became more determined to fight. I hated all the therapies, especially school, but I fancied the therapists like mad. So every cloud, eh? I once again was really enjoying being hoisted around in the air with all my dignity lost, but knew that I had to do it. I embraced everything and spoke for the first time after 2 months at Tadworth. This was especially poignant as my mum hadn't left my side for 6 months. She had made her daily call to my dad and passed the phone to me like she always did, so Dad could say hi to me. And I looked at my mum and said the words, "Hi Dad." Well, she did look rough. She claimed to be pleased about hearing me speak, but we all know she wanted to hear, "Hi Mum." Very soon after, I also smiled for the first time when watching a Michael McIntyre video in occupational health. And on the 16th of September 2012, I took my first steps. I was on a roll now and really progressing. Pity Man United hadn't done the same. By the way, I'd like you to pay particular notice to how big my dad's belly is here. I caused him that. Although everything was against me, I wanted to be the lot. When we travelled home at the weekend, I was given a wheelchair and my granddad made a ramp for me to get in the house. I used it only once. I wanted to go upstairs to my own bedroom, so my parents literally dragged me up the stairs at night. And I came down each morning on my bum. I could barely walk and certainly couldn't run, but my love for football was still there and nothing was going to stop me play again.
Yes!
I know people have had worse injuries than me, but I feel there were two things that gave me the best chance to recover like I have today. The first thing is my parental and family support in everything I have done has been massive. And a never say die attitude, thanks to my favourite teacher at school, Mr. Dillon, coming into hospital regularly and whispering in my ear, "Never give up, Charlie." It was this idea that made me realise I wanted to be a footballer again, and I was going to be back on that pitch where I belong. My life changed completely after the accident, but now I have so many other and better opportunities. I am back playing with Northern Ireland in their cerebral palsy squad, and I'm flying over tomorrow to play in the home internationals against Scotland. And I was part of the squad in the Cerebral Palsy World Cup last July at St George's Park. Even though I was crap and only got 5 minutes. You just leave it for a bit. Okay, we'll come back there. So, as you could have seen, if somebody didn't mess it up, I've come a long way. But the journey doesn't stop. Since my accident, my footballing career has seen me do the following. I first played for the West Midlands Cerebral Palsy Football Centre of Excellence in 2013, and I organised and played in a celebrity football match at St Andrews, home of Birmingham City Football Club, and raised £3,000, which I split between Birmingham Children's Hospital and the Children's Trust. So, can anyone name this move? Now that is how you screen. I have represented Northern Ireland in July for the CP World Cup at St George's Park, England last year. We didn't do too badly. We came 14th out of 14. I am an FA Level 1 coach, an FA Youth Module 1 coach, and an FA Disabled Footballers coach. As a result of this, I am now player manager of Solihull Moors Football Club Disability Open Age team. At our last tournament, we lost all 6 matches. But I never said I was a good manager. However, I also, more recently, took Manchester United to a historic quadruple winning season: Premier League, FA Cup, Capital One Cup and Champions League winners this year on FIFA, but it still counts. Finally, I was recently runner-up in the Pride of Birmingham Award 2014 and won the Inspirational Young Person of the Year Award for 2015. As you can see, winning these awards have their perks. Here you can see the future Mrs. Fogarty. She just doesn't know it yet. The main reason I'm here though is because I want you to realise that no matter how hard or difficult the challenges you may face are, you must always have hope and determination. Hope that things will get better and determination to fight against the odds. During my recovery and my fierce determination to play again, I went to the gym on a regular basis with my dad. I had 4 different personal trainers, and he was one of them, but I binned him as he was crap. I did all of this at times when I could hardly get up the stairs, let alone lift weights. I also did one-to-one training with a kickboxing world champ to improve my speed, balance and agility. So get your asses into the gym. No excuses. In your careers, there will be days where you struggle, days where your body is aching and you feel like crap. But if you keep persevering, you will be surprised at what you can achieve. I know I was. I'd like to thank you all so much for listening. I wish you all the very best in your footballing careers. Please take care and of course, never give up. Thank you.
In the last 4 years, what he's achieved is nothing short of miraculous and incredibly inspirational. As I say, I know him so well that he's inspiring to me every single day. And I thought it would be a great thing for our apprentices to see his journey and see what he's been through.
Absolutely inspiring. I mean, it was one of the most gripping talks I've ever been fortunate enough to be part of. I've seen some great speakers in the past, but this young man just had something special. What he's been through, his journey, it's hard to describe to people until you actually see it, but absolutely phenomenal.
It was good. It was a good experience to learn about other people that have been in our situation and maybe it's not gone the way that they wanted it to. So it was good. It's good. A lot to take away from it.
Yeah, I think the presentation was so powerful in the sense of, I think the clear messages that Charlie gave was the fact that, you know, never to give up and keep striving through tough times. And I think, you know, the clear thing for me is the fact that he's come through such a tough time in his life, and that, you know, the players realise that Charlie mentioned yesterday that no matter sometimes how tough you think things are, there's always someone worse off than you, and I think that the fighting spirit which is shown so far over the last 4 years is something that our players can take away, and it's such a strong, powerful presentation.
The lads all concentrated very well, listened in and was really engaged in what he was saying. Thought he was very confident to get up, with it being his first time speaking in front of a group of our age.
It's a real sort of honour for us to be asked to pilot this as the very first club. There is a connection through Gregory Ocken and his family. But the League Football Education, LFE, came to us and said, would you pilot this, because we know how your boys are and we know how you run things. So that was a real compliment for us. And once I'd sort of been given a bit of background on Charlie, and I'd done a bit of research on him and seen him on the internet, some of the videos and some of the things he'd done, and read up on him, I was like, we've got to get this lad in.
Yeah, all the lads were raving on about it in the changing rooms afterwards, because it makes us think that on some days where it's not going well for us, we can think back to that and think about all the hard work he's put in, all the things that he's had to go through, and it just helps us get across the line.
Charlie talked about hard work, he talked about courage, he talked about bravery, he talked about a never say die attitude.
Even if you do make it as a professional, if you're lucky enough, it's not a long career, and it's good to see someone who maybe hasn't gone the way that they wanted it to, but still giving 100% every day, and it's inspirational. Yeah, it's very good.
It was fantastic to have his family there as well. They've obviously been a massive part of this emotional journey. Incredible, really, when you look at what he was, what happened to him, where he's come from, and where he's trying to get to. It's just an incredible journey that a boy who basically ends up in a coma after a road traffic accident ends up standing in front of young professional footballers, telling them to never give up and never be beaten, and just to continue to do the best they can every day. It's what we tell them every day. That's what we push them to try and achieve. And if they don't achieve it in football, they hopefully will achieve it in life. And Charlie has shown that you can achieve it in both ways, by being an international disability footballer as well as coming back from death's door, basically.
It touched me, and I think the players were so engaged in what he was talking about. I think it hit home for everybody, to be honest. I think it was something that everybody can take something away from.